Everyone, welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrappers. So today I am back with a one-page layout using the School Life collection from Simple Stories. This is a little bit of an older collection, but I just absolutely love the colors and kind of the theme of the collection. Obviously it's school, but I like the icons and all that. So I'm going to be using kind of this busy pattern paper for my background. You can see I cut a small square out of the middle because I wanted a large kind of section to show. I am using, I believe, a 10 by 10 white piece of cardstock for my middle. Now I'm second guessing. No, I think I used the blue instead. It's the blue. I believe the blue is 10 by 10. And then I am going to be using some triangles. So the initial square was 9 by 9. And I'm going to be using 4 patterned pieces of paper. And so I end up, cutting the 9 by 9 in half and then cutting that in half again. So when I first initially cut it, I was like, oh, did I do this wrong? It just seemed different to me. But then I realized, nope, I can still piece together my square by doing it the way I did, I guess. So again, the main square there is 9 by 9, and then I'm going to cut it in half right down the middle diagonally, and then cut that in half as well. And I found if I lined up the straight edge, you know how like the cutters have like the grooves, if I line that up straight and then had the point in the line that will be cut, that was kind of center. The first piece I cut, I kind of tried to measure out on the long edge, the middle, and it just didn't really work like I thought it would. Hopefully that all made sense. I don't know. It didn't end up cutting perfectly by any means, and so what I will end up doing is adding like a little extra space. Instead of having all of the triangles touch, I actually have a little bit of that blue showing through. Here you can see initially I do kind of have them touching, and then I realize that it is not straight or flush, I guess. And so I end up moving that diagonal piece out a little bit, and then I will do the same thing with this side as well. So just a teeny tiny bit of that blue is showing through each of the triangles. And now I'm just going to kind of trim down my photos a little bit and mat them. Obviously, the layout is super busy at this point, and so I am going to mat them in white first. And then I was contemplating the same blue that I used for the background. I believe that I only matte one of them with that blue. I'm kind of going to have these photos gathered in the middle and overlap. And so I believe I brain fart there, the top photo with that blue. I am bringing in some chipboard from Bella Boulevard. I don't even know what the collection is called. I'm so sorry. But again, this is an older one. I think I must have got it at Tuesday morning. But I liked the school phrase from that chipboard. And see, I was wrong. I do matte both of them with the blue just to help them stand out a little bit more. The two papers on the outsides have that white background, and so I felt like maybe the matte of just the white blended in too much. And so I feel like having that dark matte around the edges helped the photos show up a little bit more. And now that I have my photos placed, I am going to go back and work on my title. So this chipboard is really old, so I am going to end up using my own tacky glue, because I think some of the sticker part actually came off. And so I am going to make sure that that is going to stick. And so I'm going to use my tacky glue. And then I'm going to piece together the rest of my title using a couple of different fonts and colors. These pictures are actually from the last day of school, and so that is what my title is going to be. I think they are Doodlebug alphas, at least one of them that I'm going to be using. And I'm going to bring in red and blue and just piece them together. The word "of" gave me a little bit of a struggle. I initially used this small, I think it's Pink Fresh yellow font, but I felt like it blended in too much. And so I ended up having to go back into my stash and trying to find a different color that would match the colors in the layout, but still show up a little bit. I settled on this kind of mustard color. It does blend in, but it was a little bit of a thicker alpha. And so that I thought helped a little bit more. So for my embellishing, I just kind of went through all of the ephemera that I have, the sticker sheet that I have, which I have a bunch of this. I've bought, I don't know, refills we'll call it, multiple times because I just love this school collection. I did have one pack of school themed Scrap and Happy Studio flares, and so I did want to incorporate at least one, if not more, of those in this layout. I loved that locker, that piece of ephemera there, and then kind of wanted to use that as my base. So I found a puffy calculator, a flare from Scrap and Happy Studio, and then that paper airplane might have been a puffy sticker as well, and I just kind of liked that cluster over there. And then I needed to kind of figure out, I wanted something to the right of the layout. I didn't want it too large, but I needed a couple of good kind of base pieces. And so I found that lunchbox and then that backpack. And I liked the way that those kind of stacked, and then with that circular sticker behind it as well. I probably could have used another flare there from Scrap and Happy Studio, but instead I just used that circular sticker. I figured I better commit to my placement of my embellishment clusters. I did pop that flare from Scrap and Happy Studio up on foam tape, partly because that calculator is a puffy sticker, and so I kind of wanted things flat. So now that I have that, it's just kind of finishing touches, seeing what I can add that's not too overpowering, because again, with so many patterns on the layout, it is very, very busy. So, embellishing I wanted to keep to a minimum. I did decide though to add a tag to the top of my photos, and it was a white, it actually was a journaling card, but I did end up adding a hole to the top to make it into a tag, and then added some twine as well. And I'm just going to use that kind of nice plain piece for a background for a simple cluster. I have a couple of phrases I thought would look cute, and so I was trying to work on how I could embellish the tag now without being too busy. So I did go through the sticker sheets, and I found this foam book, and I thought that was really cute, and so I did end up adding that, and then just a simple phrase sticker or piece of ephemera underneath of it. You can see I really wanted to bring in a flare from Scrap and Happy Studio, but I thought it was too large, and so instead I brought in just a brad to fill in that little extra space at the top. But that is going to finish off this layout. If any of this collection is still available, I will link it down below. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this layout, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.